PhD student at Tufts University. Today, I would like to share with you some useful software tools for online teaching, or just for teaching online courses, or just for educators in general. According to my experience, I would categorize the teaching software into three categories. The first category will be just the tools that you may use for effective online communication with your students. And the second category will be the useful tools for content posting. And the third category will be the useful tools for content creation or creating a content. So let's begin. So as I mentioned, the first category is the effective communication category. So I found, according to my personal experience, the next three communication softwares to be very useful when you are working with students and when you want to deliver the information to them effectively and consistently. So the first tool that I would recommend is, of course, Zoom. Everyone experienced the pandemic and everyone been using it for a while. And yes, I agree, the Zoom is a very useful tool in terms if you really need to share the information with students, not just to talk to them, not just to show the picture and have this video conversation, but also to share your writing with them, to share your presentation. You can have this like online effective dynamic conversation with the students because you can share your whiteboard with them, you can write, so it's exactly creates the atmosphere, like a classroom atmosphere among you and your students. So this is the first benefit that I found to be very good when I experienced working with Zoom. And the second benefit is that you can also create breakout rooms. So whenever you're working in class and you are sometimes using this approach to divide students into groups and make them work in small groups, you can do the same on Zoom too, because there is an opportunity to create breakout rooms. So you can put students in breakout rooms, and so they will be able to work in small groups, communicate effectively, and then you can come back all of them again together. So then you can have a whole group discussion again. And you can rotate groups. You can change students into small breakout rooms. So they will have the opportunity to talk with each other. So these are very like two strong benefits for me that I found to be very useful when using Zoom tool. And of course, this is a video conversation. Students can see you, you can see the students. So this is another type of benefit. Now, dear educators, I would like to move to the second effective communication tools that I've been using when teaching. It's a Slack platform. So Slack platform is very good for this kind of not video conversation with your students, but just like in terms of sending emails or posting some information the students need to know, like about meetings or about your class or about any other like chat stuff with your students. So you can create a channel there and then you can post everything that you find to be useful for students. But furthermore, you can also have this private conversation with each student. So for instance, if you are interested in the feedback that you would like to receive from the student regarding your class or regarding like how the student feels about your class, about the style of teaching or about the material, you can send that like private message to the student and have this also private conversation, not only the whole group or whole class conversation. So this is a very good benefit of Slack, and it's like an official platform for me that you can use for school purpose, like not Instagram or Facebook because that's like your private personal social media, but Slack is a good platform like for formal conversation between you and your students. So I found it to be very effective. And the last communication effective tool that I found to be useful as well, it's a Google Meet. But maybe you will find that it's not like something like different from Zoom, and I agree, it's kind of alternative to Zoom. You can also have the whiteboard or your screen sharing there. You have this video conversation between you and your students, and I think like the Zoom and the Google Meet share a lot of same tools. It's just like two different platforms. They require like two different license. So you just need to look like which tool your university is paying for or like bought like the license, so then you can use it for your personal purpose. If you are not attached to university or any school, you can probably choose and see like which software is more convenient for you to use. But for me, or to me, like these two tools are pretty much the same. And since I've been using Zoom more because the school, the university paid for that, so I kind of got used to that more. But I didn't find that Google Meet to be very like different, and it's not very hard to learn. So you can find it to be as a good alternative to Zoom as well. Okay, dear educators. Now I would like us to move to the second category, which is dedicated to posting your content. And for that category, I prepared two useful tools. So according to my personal experience while teaching courses, I preferred to create my own website where I posted all the necessary materials for my courses so students can easily access it, download it, see it, and they don't have to navigate through different platforms to be able to find, oh, where is this lecture posted or where is this video posted. So I found it to be like a very, very good tool to gather all the information together. So there is one place where students can go through it. They can find the information about me as an instructor. They can find the information about tutoring. They can find the solutions to the assignments, to tests. So that's very good for you as an instructor to have your like personal course website, because it actually makes it easier for a student to be able to use it and to know that here is one place that everything is. So I'm not confused that I missed something or the teacher posted the information somewhere and I was looking at the different platform. So to avoid that like kind of miscommunication between you and your students, I would recommend to create your personal website. And of course, nowadays there are a lot of online softwares which you can use to build your website. And usually you have to pay for a subscription to be able to use it and create your website, like WordPress or like Canva, or there are many, many online softwares that you can use. I'm not sure that they are for free, so you have to pay for a subscription. And of course, they will probably with that softwares, you will create more kind of, I don't know, extravagant website with a lot of like animation and like different pictures, colors, and like very, very modern structures. And you can like choose the theme and you can make it more attractive probably. But for teaching, I found it like it's not very necessary to do that if you just make it like very, very plain kind of, when it's like clear, when you just have this like all necessary information posted there. It's good. You don't have to distract students' attention or like create it like very, very something, I don't know, modern or something like exceptional. No, it's just like for teaching. It's not your personal website where you want to advertise yourself. So you dedicate more time to creating your personal website. It's just like a useful tool for teaching. So in terms of that, I found the GitHub platform to be very useful if you wanted to create your personal website just for your teaching course. And you can create an account on GitHub for free. So you don't have to pay for any subscription. And to be able to create a free website or like create it by yourself, you have to learn a little bit of HTML and CSS language, which helps you to create this like, visual representation of your website. It's not very hard to do. There are tons of templates on the internet that you can just look at. You can copy and paste this code, and you can just put it inside of your project. Like you create this like file, HTML file, that you create the read file, and then you just paste that code that you can download easily from the internet, and then you just adjust it for yourself. So you delete something, you insert something, and you can play with that. And believe me, first time, yes, it may take like 1 day for you to figure it out, to see like how to launch it, to see like how to adjust the code. But then with days, like you can take this one template that you created for your one course, and you can adjust for your all further courses. So you don't have to recreate it. And yes, you can post it online. You copy the link, so you make your website public, and then students can easily access it on the internet. So they will get this website link, they just click on that, and they will be on your website, course website easily. So I found this to be very, very useful. And of course, you learn something, you learn a new programming language because you have to know HTML and CSS. It's not super hard. It's not like learning advanced Python or something similar. It's very simple. So believe me, for you as for teacher or educator, it will be very useful, and for your students as well. Second, posting effective tool is I probably would say like Canva for me. Yes, you have to pay for subscription to have this like premium subscription to be able to access certain tools on it. But it's very useful if you want to make like presentations, if you want to make like animated content, if you want to make posters, if you want to make PowerPoint slides. So Canva is very, very useful, and they already have like templates, so you can just insert your information on them. And yeah, that's kind of like you pay about like $15 or $16 per month, and there is an annual subscription as well, so you will probably save some money. But it's a very, very useful tool. So except of just Microsoft PowerPoint that you can use Canva because it has more like diverse tools in terms of like social communication with your students. So I would say probably it's another tool that you can use, Canva. And there is an option also to create a website on Canvas too. So you can try that as well. So they probably have already created templates, so you can just insert your information in them and launch it. That's it. Okay, dear educators, now I think we should move to the last category, which is our third category, and it's a content creation category. So, of course, I would say that I would actually make kind of like subset of this category in terms of which subject you are teaching. If it's like a literature or maybe like history or geography, you're probably dealing more like with words and pictures and animations. So using like PowerPoint for just like creating slides, or probably just using Notability as a writing app, that would be nice. And you can also use Canva as well to create PowerPoint presentation. But if you're teaching like physics or probably mathematics, you will deal with a bunch of formulas. And for formulas, if you use just a doc, like Microsoft Doc, that is sometimes like when you deal with formulas, they can jump, and it's so hard to put like the text and formulas together so it looks presentable. So I found the LaTeX language to be more useful in terms of creating mathematical formulas. Of course, for that purpose, you need to learn the LaTeX language. But believe me, it is worth doing that. So whenever you just learn it one time, you'll be using it your whole life. So you will just dedicate like maybe 1 month or less learning it. But then you'll be using it 40 years or whenever your teaching experience is, or your teaching career is. And for that, for LaTeX as well, yes, there is this Text Studio and MeetText that you have to download and install on your computer. But if you find difficulties with installation of this like Text Studio and like finding like it's how this tag file works, how the code works, like how it's running, I don't understand the mistakes. If you find it like to be like that, I would strongly recommend you to use Overleaf, which is their online LaTeX application or software, which has everything built in it. So what you do, you just like go to create new project, and then you create a tag file, and you just start typing your tag code, and then you run it right like online. So then it shows you the created PDF version of it, like compiled PDF version. And then you can easily download it because you have your account on Overleaf. And then you download the PDF, and then it has all these well presented mathematical formulas. So then you just use it for presentation for your class. Of course, there is an alternative version. You can just use a notability writing app, like it's like note taking app that exists on, I think, like for iPads, and there's also alternative version for Microsoft too. So you can download it, and you can just write like in live format. So you just, it will be like handwriting version of formulas, and it's also effective tool for communication with students. So you can kind of balance between two. Whenever you need a presentation and these slides, you can use Overleaf, so your formulas look very well. And if you want this kind of live communication with your students, you can use the any like writing app, writing note taking app, and then you will have this like handwriting, and students will feel like they are in class, like you are writing on whiteboard and they are following your writing. So each of these two apps like will be good for you for your presentation. I think that's all, dear educators. I hope you'll find this video to be very interesting and useful for your teaching career and for your work with students at the academia, or just for your personal work. If it's really interesting for you, please subscribe for my channel, and I'll be posting more useful tools for educators soon. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.